Hello guys, this is Brandon with Little NC Farmer. I hope you're having a good day today. And wanted to talk to you a little bit today about tips on firewood. Uh, this is just things that I have learned over the years. I don't know that it's a book that's been written on it, but pretty much a standard rule with anybody that uses firewood to heat with. You want good seasoned out dry wood. Uh, but wood starts in a green, when we refer to green wood, we mean a tree that is alive. And you've got to get it from that stage to a stage that you can use in a wood heater. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that today. I was thinking about, I've got all this wood over here that we cut around this field area, just trying to get the undergrowth that has creeped in around the edges out. And personally, I like maple and I like oak, red oak, white oak specifically. I'll burn other kind, but I'll take anything I can get, don't get me wrong. But hickory sweet gum will burn good. It's just, it can be a little tedious about getting it to split and not be so splintery. If you can split it while it's green, it's better. But that's the thing of it. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. And this may be something, guys, that may be a location tip. I don't know. But around here in central North Carolina, the old timers used to tell us that if you're going to cut firewood, in other words, if you're cutting green wood to use next year, they always told us that the best time to cut it is the light nights of January, light nights February, and if they fell on the first part of the month of March, the light nights in March. Reason being, I think, is because of the sap is at its lowest point. I would say at least January, February. I'm a little hesitant of March because our Marches can actually get warm. It just depends from year to year. Now this year we've seen a seasonable winter. I won't say it's been tremendously cold. I would just say it's average, really. But you want to get it to where that sap is at its lowest point in that tree. That red oak y'all saw me split up last week, I put a caption in there. That thing was loaded with sap. And the reason being, most likely, that tree probably died during a hot, dry summer while the sap was actually up in it. Most of the time, if you cut one down that's dead and it's full of sap, it died in the warm season versus the cold season. So, those are things. But if you cut it and split it and just let it lay out and air out, so to speak, it should eventually dry on up, over time. But one thing I wanted to talk about here, and I'm going to swing this around for a second. Okay, guys, we're over here now at this wood pile that I stacked up a while back. And if you can look at that, this is another tip I wanted to show you. But if you look at it close, I'm going to walk over here because this thing won't pick my sound up too well. But as I stacked it, guys, I've got most of it here with the bark facing up. Now, ideally, if you got a shed that you can put it under to keep it in the dry, that's perfection. I don't have that, and maybe someday we will, but right now I don't have that. But I've got this stacked up in such a way that I've got I'd say 90% of it, maybe even more, the bark is facing up all the way down. Now, when I put the first row down, it's better if you can actually take round wood to go on your bottom. But regardless if it's round or split, be sure that the bark is facing downward. It's just a little bit of protection. But this is a dry area right here. We're actually on top of a knoll almost, so to speak. So we don't have a lot of water standing in this area. But this wood will be burnt before it has time to rot, believe me. And it gets a lot of sun right here on this spot, primarily all day long. That was another reason for putting it here. And we'll probably start on this first thing. If I'm not finishing up my dry wood from this year, I'll probably finish that up. But then this will get started on pretty quick. And I'll say by Christmas, most of this would be gone. That's just my guess now. But if you'll split it, and when you stack it up, lay your bark facing up, and that helps the water to shed off and not penetrate into the wood. It's just an all-natural way of doing it. And it's under a pine tree right here. And, you know, that'll help shade it from some rain to some degree, but not much. But there is pine in that, but it'll cure out over the summer, and we shouldn't have a problem with it. It just don't last long. The poplar don't last long. You could take that poplar right now and burn it. I mean, I would not hesitate it one bit, because poplar don't have a lot of substance to it. You know, if you wanted to burn it for something overnight or something like that, it would probably do fine. So anyway, guys, I just thought I'd come on and tell you a little bit. This is just some tips that I've learned over the years dealing with firewood. But, you know, your location on, you know, when to cut it, when the sap's at its lowest point, your location probably have a lot more to do with that. You know, that's the rule of thumb that I would go by. If I'm going to cut a green tree, a live tree, and plan to use it for firewood, I would try to pick the time of year that the sap is at its lowest point in it, because it will cure out and it will dry much better for you to use. So guys, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get off of here and I'm going to get to work. And got a little more of the maple down there I'm going to gather up. I'm going to finish getting that up. Get me a little bit of this red oak that's over here. And so I've got some to use there. And looking at my phone here, it's going crazy. But anyway, I'm going to get some more of that to take to the house. And hopefully we can start winding down on needing some firewood pretty shortly. I'm trying to add just a little extra every week, and hopefully I can get to the place I don't have to bring no more, because it's eventually going to warm up and we probably won't be needing it much longer. Hopefully we can get a garden started here pretty shortly. So I'm hoping and praying, guys, that we can get in the ground a lot earlier this year. I don't know. The way our weather's changing and rains all the time, ground stays wet. You know, I honestly am leaning toward greenhouses, or, you know, another way of doing, because we got to have stuff. I've got to have my garden, guys. I go crazy without it. And, you know, I see these folks on YouTube that's got their high tunnel greenhouses, and man, am I so impressed with that. And, you know, I really, that's right down my alley. So I don't know, I'm trying to muddle things through my head, think of ways that we could make that happen. And so I don't know, just pressing with thoughts on that. So anyway, I'm gonna get off of here, guys, and we're gonna finish this up out here and try to get at it. So y'all have a great day. Thank you, Little NC Farmer.